There are moments when time feels heavier than metal. Moments when silence says more than noise ever could. Tonight is one of those moments. In front of us sits a machine the world has already forgotten. Rust eats through what was once flawless engineering. The paint has surrendered to years of rain, dust, and neglect. What used to turn heads now barely turns memories. Most people would never stop here. They would look once and keep walking. But some stories don't ask to be rushed. They ask to be understood. This didn't begin its life like this. It was born from precision, from obsession, from human hands that believed perfection was worth chasing. Once this car wasn't parked in the shadows. It lived under bright lights. It moved with purpose. It carried dreams faster than words ever could. And now, it rests in silence. Beside it stands a woman whose life carries a different kind of weight. Her hands are worn, not from tools, but from time itself. Her eyes have seen decades pass. Decades where things were fixed, not replaced. Kept alive, not discarded. In her hands, she holds money. Not much. Just enough to mark an ending, and maybe a beginning. This exchange isn't about value. It never is. It's about trust. About letting go of something that once mattered. About believing someone else might care enough to continue the story. When the cash changes hands, something invisible shifts. Responsibility. From this moment forward, this machine's future belongs to us. And with that comes a question only time can answer. Was it worth saving? At first glance, the answer seems obvious. The body is beyond recognition. The interior smells of moisture and years of abandonment. Bolts resist movement like they've made peace with never turning again. Every angle whispers the same thing. Too far gone. But restoration has never been about listening to easy answers. It's about listening deeper. We don't rush in. We don't tear things apart without respect. We stand still. Because before metal is touched, before tools make sound, you need to understand what you're bringing back. This car has waited a long time. It deserves patience. As the first layer of dirt is washed away, the past begins to speak. Not loudly, but clearly. Every scratch tells a story of motion. Every dent remembers impact. Every rusted seam marks a year where no one came back. This isn't just decay. This is history. Hands move slowly now. Not because the work is difficult, but because it matters. High-pressure water cuts through layers of neglect. Ash, dirt, and time fall away piece by piece. And with every pass, something unexpected happens. The car begins to reveal itself. Not as it was, but as it could be again. Restoration isn't about erasing damage. It's about understanding it. We don't hide the scars. We study them. Because each one exists for a reason. Grinding begins. The sound is sharp, honest, unavoidable. Metal meets resistance. And resistance gives way. This is where commitment is tested. Anyone can start a restoration. Very few finish one. Because progress here is slow. Measured not in hours, but in resolve. Dust fills the air. Not the kind that chokes. The kind that reminds you something is changing. There are moments when doubt tries to enter. When fatigue makes you question why this matters. And then you remember. Machines like this were built by people who refused to settle. Who believed excellence was worth suffering for. Respect demands we do the same. Piece by piece, the structure begins to return. Not perfect, but honest. This doesn't want to be new. It wants to be alive. Time passes differently in a garage like this. Minutes disappear. Hours blur. Silence returns often. And when it does, it's welcome. Because silence lets the work breathe. Hands tighten bolts that haven't moved in years. Tools leave marks that mean progress. And slowly, the chaos begins to organize itself. This is the moment where restoration becomes personal. Because you stop seeing a project and start seeing a responsibility. Every choice now carries weight. Every decision shapes the future. You don't rush paint. You earn it. Before color returns, structure must be worthy of it. Surface must be honest. Metal must be strong. Sanding smooths not just imperfections, but impatience. Each pass demands focus. Each moment asks for presence. This is not therapy, but it feels close. Because when you restore something abandoned, you learn something about yourself too. There are parts that fight back, parts that refuse to cooperate, parts that remind you why this was left behind in the first place.